How far back can we trace the queerness? Like, just out of curiosity, how we know it's always been around, but what is the earliest that you've found potentially evidence for?
Honestly, we can trace queerness as long as far back as we can trace. So there are
Mm.
parts of human history where it no longer becomes history. It becomes like anthropology or paleontology. So when we talk about
Yeah.
ancient, early humans, where before we have any known civilization, we're talking, not just thousands, but many, 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 many thousands of years ago, before there are actually written collections of history. Well, we don't know, we don't have much to say about them. We can say these are their tools, this is how they might have lived, this is what they might have eaten, but we don't know much about religion. We don't know much about the stories that they told, how they raised each other. So, but as soon as we get like art, writing of any kind, any sort of recorded history, going back to like ancient Mesopotamian history, some of the earliest civilizations, like in the Indus Valley, in the Fertile Crescent, we can see stories that we might see as queer. So some of the early ones, definitely the ancient Egyptians, which is a 3,000 year
Mm.
long civilization. Right at the start of that, we can see depictions of gender nonconformity, men who like men, women who like women. So yeah, it's no different to anything else. If you were to ask me what's the earliest recording of music, I would say that would be the
Mm.
same time as the earliest recording of queerness, in that as soon as we started to record anything, we can see evidence for it. But in a sense, we shouldn't have to try to prove it all the time, because we don't need to prove
Mm.
that humans were whistling tunes and probably listening to some form of music. We know that because it occurs in every single human society today. So it's kind of a fact of humanity. We have music, the fact that we speak, the fact that we tell stories. You wouldn't ever have to go, well, if you can't prove it, then we just suddenly one day in ancient Mesopotamia it happened. No. So the same thing with queerness. It
Mm.
exists in all societies today. So it is endemic not just to humans, but to all living things, if we really want to get into it. And every
Yeah.
animal that you can think of does things that we might describe as queer.